YouTube, this is the Bucket coming at you today with the Zastava M70 pistol 32 ACP. This is a steel framed, steel slide, steel barreled handgun. The single action only comes with 8 rounds plus 1 in the chamber. I went to the Knapps today with a buddy of mine named Tanner. Tanner's a new gun guy. He's starting to learn a lot about firearms, and so we went ahead and decided to put this particular firearm through its paces. If you look at the image, these are my first 5. Not very impressed with those at all. Not the way that you want to start off your day at the range. As I always tell my wife, sometimes you're the cat, sometimes you're the litter box. Figured today may be a litter box day. But I let Tanner run it. We've shot some other guns today, and it wasn't a litter box day. It just didn't shoot this particular gun particularly well for the first 5 rounds. But as I shot it, I got a little bit better, started to understand the firearm a little bit better. And Tanner, a new gun guy, he was like, I really like that gun. He liked the size. I think he liked the overall aesthetic of the gun. Liked how it shot, liked the battery of arms. And he just kind of kept coming back to this firearm. As we got a little bit stronger, a little bit better on the particular firearm, this is my final 5 shots with this particular firearm. That's a pretty darn good group. That's a flyer. That's just me. Those 4 are pretty tight. When you get these firearms, a lot of them had a plastic rear sight for sporting purposes, for importation purposes, for small guns. I'm guessing that this particular firearm had one of those on there and had the rear sight replaced with a real sight that was actually functional, and probably never got it fully sighted in. And actually, if I look at it, it looks like it's not completely centered the way it should be. So if you were to purchase this firearm, you might want to just realize you're getting it inexpensive, and you may have to drift the rear sight a little bit and to get it to hit point of aim, point of impact. That's not that hard to do, and it gives you a little bit more fun to have with your particular firearm. I will tell you that this gun still has the magazine disconnect safety in it, so like the trigger is not the best. It is kind of spongy and kind of hard and kind of stacks a little bit. That may have affected a little bit of how I shot with this gun as well. I did have 1 stovepipe double feed with this particular firearm, so you want to make sure you have this well oiled. As far as everyday carry, probably not something I would recommend. As a backup gun or something that you keep in your trunk, definitely. And as something to have as a range toy to come out and just plink with, definitely. Also, I've talked about this before, my wife, the Mrs. Bucket, she does not like going shooting. She's just not a gun person. She doesn't like the sound, she doesn't like the recoil, and one of the few guns that I can get her shoot is a 32 ACP gun. And the recoil is manageable, it's easy, it's not as loud. And actually what I would tell you is the little middle baby Bucket, when she first shoots, I'm going to teach her with a 22 rifle, but then I'm going to put a 32 ACP gun in her hand. A 22 pistol just doesn't have the recoil. I don't think it really prepares them or trains them to get them ready to fire a real firearm. I like the 32 ACP, so that's what I'm going to go with that. Some real benefits with this little B or baby toke. It's just a fun gun. I want to thank you guys so much for supporting the channel. All the likes are really appreciated. The comments are great. Any shares that you've got would be awesome as well. And as always, you stay classy, YouTube.
I learned a lesson. Never half-ass 2 things. Whole-ass 1 thing.